Hey there! Welcome to my August blank with me. For this month, I was really inspired by cherries. So here you see me making a little bit of cherry tea. I just love doing these infusions of actual dried fruits and herbs. I feel that they are really comforting, and in this case, the flavor was cherry. So this was the perfect drink for me to sit down and set up this theme. Also, I have been having an allergy since we got the Sahara sand flying around, so you might also notice that in my voice. But I'm doing a lot better now, and so let's get started. The pictures you see on the table are the ones that I printed from Pinterest. I always start by picking a theme and then also thinking of a palette which consolidates after I look up those pictures, which I then print and I use for my mood board. So I knew that I wanted to draw cherries, but I wasn't really sure of how the theme was going to turn out. I thought a lot about desserts because that's like the obvious thing. But as I was ready to sketch my quote, I thought of this artist that I've been following on Instagram, Aurelia Maron. I'm going to link her below. And she does this amazing lettering using Procreate and using those retro signs that give the quotes a really nice and bright vibe. And that was a moment where my whole theme took a turn for the retro style, especially the 50s or 60s, and so you will see me do a lot of retro art. It's kind of simple, but I went back to gouache, but right here for the whole sign I just used inks and a gel pen. So I love doing this. It took some time. You are watching just a time lapse. But I had to be careful, especially with these oval shapes, because it's not easy to line over them with a fine nib. And actually, I had to go off camera and round the wobbly edges. You will see those a little bit ahead, especially in the lower part of the sign. And I don't know if I have mentioned this before, but drawing with a camera on the face is really hard. Like, I can't really go into the page as I like to. Here you can see how wobbly that lower sign is. And so I just had to turn the camera off and do it as carefully as I could, tracing over those wonky lines and perfecting them to my liking. Then of course I am adding my metallic watercolor, which in this case is a golden rose, and it matches perfectly all those cherry tones. And of course I had to add my details with the white gel pen. Once I was done off camera with that sign, I moved on to my cover spread and used gouache to draw this delicious looking retro vanilla ice cream with a cherry on top, of course. And you might wonder, why is she drawing the ice cream as if it's falling apart and it's melting and it looks lopsided? Well, it also has to do with a quote, because I feel that we need to be the cherry on top. Like, do our best or be our best, especially under difficult circumstances. Like, sometimes everything feels like it's falling apart, but our attitude, it's gonna keep us on top. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I drew it this way. But it's just to show how many things come into play when I am setting up these covers and how close they are to my heart and thoughts. So I thought it was a great idea to draw it like it's falling apart, but the cherry is happy on top of it all, and no matter what, it's gonna stay that way. So yeah, it's a beautiful illustration of how I should feel when life gets hard. This spread would not be complete if I am not adding more shimmer. In this case, it's a really subtle layer, and I just love how it looks when the light hits it. And now I am using washi tape to mark my first tab. If you watch my July plan with me, you might have realized that that was my first time using tabs. And I loved doing them, but also they are so practical. Like, they really help me find things easier and faster, and I really enjoyed using them. So here I am just differentiating each one of them so that they can look cohesive in the end. And the truth is that I made a miscalculation here, and I ended up cutting that extra orange layer later of washi, which was good because I was not truly convinced of how good it looked. But anyway, moving on to the mood board. Now I am taking all those pictures that I printed, and by the way, this time I decided to print them on glossy photo paper, because last time I used plain paper and the colors didn't show up as great as I hoped they would. So this time, using photographic paper, they truly looked a lot better. Like, I didn't want to use it because it's thicker, and in the end it will just make my journal a lot more broth or fat. But I guess it's a good price to pay, because those pictures just look a lot more better, a lot more professional. And as I said before, these are all desserts and treats, and I guess it goes well with the retro theme because diners back in the day used to serve all of these delicious things. So here, you guessed right, I am cutting all that extra space so that I can see the mood board behind that ice cream. There was a time when it was unthinkable for me to cut my journal pages, but after seeing some great results and enjoying it so much, I think I'm making of it a habit. And of course, I'm really careful so that I won't cut the parts that I don't want to cut or even slice a finger. So it takes some time because the paper is kind of thick, but in the end, I think it's totally worth it. So in a minute, you will see me cut that orange washi, because here is where I realized that the tab behind it was not showing as I hoped it would. Like, I miscalculated it, so I just removed it, and it looked better that way. Of course, I am adding vellum paper to the back of the ice cream so that the mood board behind it will be subtle. And now I'm just cutting the rest of that tab, and I'm ready to move on to the next spread. This is a new spread that I had mentioned before in my previous videos. This is going to replace my habit and mood tracker. It's actually a kind of a health tracker because I am working on my metabolism. So I'm supposed to keep in check my sleep, hunger, mood, energy, and cravings. So I designed this very particular tracker for me to keep that in check throughout the month. So for sleep, I will track how many hours of sleep I get on a daily basis. Also the number of meals, because I do intermittent fasting. then my mood, of course, and finally my energy highs or lows. Those last two I had already been tracking for a while. I feel that along with my food log, this is gonna help me have a better grasp of how I do on a daily and monthly basis, and to control better my habits. So I'm really looking forward to see if this one will work. I'm guessing it will, and I will let you know if I will keep it for the next month or not. Moving on, this is my usual mental inventory, expense tracker, and monthly log. So again, I am using Gouache to do this retro lettering, and on this page I will be drawing a little sign or ad for a cherry cream soda, which I would love to try somehow, but at least I get to draw it and enjoy drawing it. So to do this, I am using inks and markers. This next spread is my food log, and going on with the diner theme, I decided to use this like rosy shade to make a sort of pattern here, kinda like a tablecloth, but also like a decorations in a diner, and it has the word menu on top. Here you see me do a mistake, and as I have said before, it's easily fixable with a white gel pen. So I am adding back the breakfast tab because working with my metabolism, my meals will change almost every 2 weeks. For some time I will be doing 3 meals, for other I will be just doing 2. It all depends on how my hunger and cravings work, and it's a whole deal right here, and I'm learning and getting the hang of it, but I can already tell that it works. So I'm just finishing off by marking the Sundays, and I will later add my color code for the cheat day and all that stuff. So this is a simple spread, and the final one is the Doodle Spread, which of course for this month is going to be cherry doodles, and it's going to be really similar to the one that I made back in May with the peach, and it's all about treats and cherry inspired daily items. So as usual, I'm really looking forward to fill this in. Alright, this is it. This is the final flip through of this cherry theme, which I absolutely loved. In all honesty, I didn't know it would go this way with the retro vibe, but in the end I just loved it. And I feel that cherries are a really good fruit to represent summer. So much so that I had to go to Costco to buy some cherries because after setting the first couple of spreads, I was just craving them so much. And I'm really glad that I did because they are so sweet and lovely. And I had been missing them. I haven't had them in probably years because over here they're really expensive. But when I can get them and they are in season, they are totally worth it. I'm thinking I will make a cherry pie or something because they're extremely good. And well, before I go, I want to thank you all for your ongoing support and especially your kind words. They really make my day, and I appreciate all of the feedback and the advice because it helps me grow and be better at making these videos, which I already enjoy doing them, so I want you to enjoy them too. So I welcome any positive feedback and any help or advice that you can give me. If you are new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. And if you like it, then please subscribe and hit that notification bell so that YouTube will tell you when I upload a new video. Thanks again for everything, and as usual, thank you so much for watching.